You know, for more than a decade, if you thought about YouTube dominance, one name probably popped into your head: PewDiePie. But the story of Felix Kjellberg is so much more than just a subscriber count. It's this incredible journey from a college dropout to a global icon. It's a story about growth nobody had ever seen before, a conflict that literally defined the platform, and in the end, a total rethink of what it even means to win on the internet. I mean, just look at this. On one side, you've got the super high energy screaming gamer from the early 2010s. And on the other, a thoughtful dad vlogging from Japan. The change is just staggering, right? So how in the world did one of the most chaotic creators on the planet evolve into one of its most content? Well, that's the story we're going to dig into. So let's rewind. Our story kicks off with a pretty simple decision. It's April 29, 2010, and after dropping out of university, this young guy from Sweden named Felix Kjellberg starts a YouTube channel. And you gotta think, he had no clue he was basically laying the first brick of an absolute empire. He pretty quickly found his footing in this new, emerging format called a Let's Play. His thing was playing horror games, especially these indie hits like Amnesia: The Dark Descent, and his reactions, just pure comedy and terror, that became his bread and butter. See, this wasn't just some guy playing a game. It was a performance, and people couldn't get enough of it. But here's the real secret sauce, okay? It wasn't really the games, it was the community. And this is key. Right from the jump, he wasn't just talking at his audience, he was talking with them. He called his fans the Bro Army and ended every video with that iconic bro fist. He was building the sense of belonging that turned out to be incredibly powerful and super loyal. Okay, but look at this slide. This is where things get just wild. Check out these numbers. In December 2011, he's at 60,000 subscribers. Fine. 7 months later, 1 million. Just a little over a year after that, he's the most subscribed YouTuber on the entire planet. By the end of 2013, he's at 19 million, and his channel was exploding so fast, he was literally gaining a new subscriber every single second. Just think about that. And that kind of momentum, well, it was bound to lead to a collision. And boy, did it. This set the stage for the biggest battle YouTube has ever seen. And it wasn't just about numbers. For a lot of people, this was a fight for the future of the platform itself. One guy versus a massive corporation. So what happens? This Indian music label, T-Series, starts rocketing up the charts. And suddenly, the race to 100 million subscribers is on. It becomes this massive global meme. And it resonated with so many people because it was the perfect symbol for YouTube's big tension. The solo creator in his bedroom versus the big, polished corporate machine. And you know, the timing was perfect because he jumped back into playing Minecraft, which totally re-energized his original fans for that final push. And this just shows you how huge this whole thing got. It wasn't just PewDiePie on his own. You had huge creators like MrBeast, Markiplier, and Jacksepticeye rallying everyone they could. MrBeast was famously buying up billboards. He even got an ad in the Super Bowl. It was this all-out collective push to keep an individual creator at the top of the platform. So here's the thing you have to remember. Yeah, T-Series technically got there first on May 29th, 2019. But the war had so juiced PewDiePie's numbers that on August 25th, he did something no individual creator had ever done before. He became the first solo YouTuber to hit 100 million subscribers. But look, the road to 100 million subscribers, it wasn't all memes and victory laps, not by a long shot. Along the way, there were some major stumbles, some really public mistakes that caused a huge media backlash. And it didn't just threaten his career, it threatened the stability of the whole platform. He got tangled up in a series of really high-profile controversies, from accusations about anti-Semitic jokes to using a racial slur during a live stream. And because he was YouTube's biggest star, the fallout was massive. This was a huge reason for the Adpocalypse, that period when all the big brands got scared and pulled their money, which crushed revenue for creators big and small. The point is, his mistakes didn't just affect him. They sent shockwaves through the entire creator economy. And then, the subscribe to PewDiePie movement took a horribly dark turn when the phrase was used by the Christchurch shooter. In response, you could see he was just completely shaken. He immediately came out, condemned the act, and formally told everyone to stop the meme. He said he felt sick just having his name associated with something so hateful. So you've got this corporate behemoth rising. You've got a mountain of controversy. It's a fair question, right? After all those years at the top, was this it? Was the king of YouTube's reign finally over for good? And, well, the numbers don't lie. T-Series' momentum was just unstoppable. They were pulling in over 130,000 new subs a day compared to PewDiePie's 25,000. But this wasn't just about T-Series being popular. It hinted at something else, something that happens to almost every creator who stays on top for that long: audience fatigue. The game was definitely changing. So what do you do after you've basically fought the YouTube equivalent of a world war? You don't just keep playing the same game, you change the rules entirely. And for Felix, that meant making a move he'd planned for years, to Japan, and completely shifting his life's priorities. This quote, I think, says everything. When his son, Bjorn, was born, it completely changed his relationship with time and ambition. Suddenly, that endless chase for more views, more subs, it just didn't seem as important as the precious, limited time he had with his family. And you can see the shift so clearly in his content. The channel went from that wild, frenetic energy of Let's Plays to more laid-back meme commentary, and eventually to what we see today, these much quieter, personal vlogs about his life, his hobbies, and his family out in Japan. I saw a fan put it this way, and I think it's perfect. He didn't quit or give up. He platinumed his YouTube run. It's like he did everything you could possibly do. He beat the game, he got every achievement, broke every record, and then just decided to walk away from the race, on his own terms. YouTube went from his career back to what it was at the very beginning, a hobby. And if you look at his stats now, it's actually pretty fascinating. His subscriber count is just holding steady around 110 million. He's not in the top 10 anymore, but here's the wild part. He's not really losing subs. That core army, the one he started building over a decade ago, they're still there, even though his focus has completely changed from chasing growth to just personal fulfillment. And that really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? His whole story kind of forces us, and every creator out there, to ask, what does it even mean to win at YouTube anymore? Is it about having the most subscribers and being number one? Or is it about finally earning the freedom to stop keeping score?